And welcome back. Another episode. Another day, another fantastic time in this. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Three
Anyway,
is the
potato
magic
here.
number, right? Three is the magic number. I think we hit it.
I'm
Uh, uh,
Are we
uh.
at 4?
Oh, this is 4. Oh, we missed the magic. We missed the magic number.
It's okay. My favorite number is 5, so that's all that matters.
5 is going to be an incredible episode. It's a special episode. You should invite your friends to crowd around the radio like they did every time FDR would do one of his fireside chats.
Right. So, light a fire. If you don't have a fire, what are they called? Places? Oh, fireplace. If you have one, just get a bucket, throw some, paper, wood in there, light it. It'll
family photographs.
Yes.
What did you say your name was again? I didn't hear it. And for the audience at home.
Potato.
Oh, and I'm Sheepdog.
Yeah.
What does your shirt say?
My shirt says Pacific Breach.
What is that in reference? It looks like Jurassic Park.
Correct. So for a while there, and it's a reference to Pacific Rim. For a while, Potato decided that it would be super cool to only have graphic tees that all were mashups of things that I liked. So I have, I have a Powerpuff Girl Chun-Li, Elsa Adventure Time. Yeah, there's I don't know. That's just 2 that I could think of right now. But I have I had a lot of mashup shirts. I had to get rid of a few, and I still have some. But it was a lot.
I have some cool ones of that. Like I have one that it's the Ghostbusters car and they're chasing the Pac-Man ghosts. That kind of
that's cool.
Yeah, I like those shirts.
Yeah, it was I had, in order to get it under control for myself, I had to tell myself, okay, only get stuff that I'm a fan of both things, because I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park, so that's why I got this one. And Pacific Rim, I liked it, but I wasn't like a major fan. So I think maybe it was this shirt that I was like, okay, whoa, you need to calm your shirt. Calm your shirt.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I thought Pacific Rim was okay. It was about as good as the Jurassic Park sequels.
Yeah. Part 3.
Yeah. But I like Charlie Day in it. He was really great running around.
Right. No, it was a good movie, but I wouldn't say it was like on par with the first Jurassic Park. Oh, I don't know. Do you remember watching Jurassic Park? Like the very first time?
I saw it in the theater as a kid.
Yeah. It just like, I was not allowed to go see it because it was scary, but my cousin had rented it from like Blockbuster or something. And so I remember seeing it at a house. So it could have been my grandma's, my aunt's, probably my grandma's house. And because that's where everyone would get together. And it was probably a holiday or some other thing that made it so that all of us got together. And I got to see it. And I just loved it. I was like, how did they get real dinosaurs?
Yeah, and it holds up today. It's like they're amazing. The one that really impresses me, I had a huge crush on Lexi. Was that her name? The kid, and I'm roughly her age. I think we're 1 year.
I'm in.
So there was one shot that because I was a teenager when it came out, and I thought it was particularly like, ooh, Lexi's got a nice body on her, right? And then I found out it wasn't even her. It's the stunt woman. And she looks directly into the camera, and it's Lexi's face.
Uh-huh.
And it's that was digitally planted on. It was the first time they ever did that in a movie. And you have no idea. Even today watching, you're like, that's her. No, it's not. It's a super sexy stunt woman. who at my current age, I could still be like, yeah, Lexi's hot. But not the character anymore. But yeah, I mean, it holds up remarkably well. It's pretty great.
I really liked it. I was just like obsessed with it for a while. Obsessed with dinosaurs. You know, that age when you become obsessed with dinosaurs and then you still love dinosaurs forever.
Absolutely. You know, it's sad because that's we won't be able to. I don't know if theaters are going to survive, and that was such an experience of like, I don't know. I don't know if kids in the future will even care about going.
I don't know. Like I said, I watched that not in the theater because that's
true.
I didn't just get to. I wasn't able to see a lot. The movies that I really saw in theaters were usually just Disney movies because my mom was like, "Oh, this is age appropriate."
Sure, yeah.
There's
something about the brontosaurus is towering over you, and you know it's.
I never got to see that though. But I could tell. I could just look and be like, "That shit big." I love Brachiosaurus. Yeah.
I don't know. When was the last time you went to a movie or saw a movie that blew you away like Jurassic Park did?
Damn.
I mean, I guess Lord of the Rings kind of did the same thing.
I will say most of the time, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. And most of the times that I go see the Star Wars movies, I don't. Maybe afterwards it settles in and I realize like what I watched. But when going to see Star Wars movies, I get so hyped up and then I'm watching it and it's just I'm like a kid again. I just remember every single time that I've gone to see the movies. Like I said, even if afterwards I'm like, actually, but being there at that moment, every time I get out, I'm just like, that was so cool.
Yeah, I'm a movie snob, so I wish I could feel that with you. I did for the first prequel when the text crawl went across the screen. I remember having that feeling, but it pretty quickly dissipated into. I didn't think Phantom Menace was that bad. As far as the prequels go, it was the best of them. But the second one, I literally had my head in my hands and I was shaking. I was like, why is this happening? I was so traumatized by it. And the first one wasn't even that great, but I love the pod racing and the lightsaber duel at the end. That was pretty rad. But if the movie's not good, I don't escape into it in the way that a lot of people do. It's very difficult.
Yeah, the Phantom Menace, I think I can't. So the Phantom Menace, I probably did come out going like, "Oh, that was awesome!"
Yeah.
But the takeaway that I got from that one though is, or like the memory that I have from that. So my uncle had come to visit, and he was from California. I was still in New Jersey at that time. He had come to visit, and we were in Atlantic City. We were walking through. We actually walked through the casinos, and I was just like, I'm sure it was like an area that was fine for me to walk through, but I was like, I'm walking in a casino.
Ooh,
naughty. I was like, I think in 6th grade, so you know, it was a big deal.
You were the first
and so
kid in your school.
we went to the Warner Brothers store. Remember that? They don't have those anymore. Holy shit. I got a giant coloring book and it had Bugs Bunny and Marvin the Martian. Anyways, cool. Getting off topic. See, I start like going into the memory and but basically we went to Atlantic City. Then later we had to meet up with my mom and her boyfriend, and we ended up going to a movie theater that was near to where we were going to meet up with my mom. And he was like, we have some time to kill. Let's watch the Star Wars movie. He was a big fan. He's a major fan of Star Trek, but he was still a fan of Star Wars. So he's like, yeah, let's go see this one. And I'm like, okay. He got me an R2-D2 cup, which fucking love R2. He gave me an R2D, or he bought me an R2-D2 cup that I'm sure was like whatever it was there. because of the movie, obviously. Anyway,
yeah.
And then during the movie, there was a kid who was like one of the hot kids in school, and he was like trying to be funny during the movie. Yeah, and my uncle was like, I wish you would just shut up.
He dispelled
and I was like, huh?
He dispelled your youthful fancy right away.
Well, no, then I'm like, he's one of the cool kids. And he's like, well, I don't think he's cool. And I'm like, oh, snap. And I don't know. I just really clearly remember that because I guess he was pissing us off or I guess he was pissing off my uncle more because he was just, I said my uncle Moore, but I heard Michael Moore.
Oh, he's really making Michael Moore angry. He's making a documentary right now.
And I just remember that. And then after that, we ended up going to meet up for dinner. We had Chinese food, and my mom's boyfriend's daughter kept putting Jell-O on a really hot plate, and so it kept melting before she had a chance. Because for some reason, she kept getting dessert while she was still like getting her dinner. Mm-hmm. So we're like, hey, wait for dessert for last. And she's like, no, I want it now. And yeah, so the Jell-O kept melting. And yeah.
What I understand from Bill Cosby, it's easier to slip pills than to melted Jell-O.
No, shut up.
No, I guess not always been a movie snob, but I've been one for a long time because I remember watching Ghostbusters 2, and the original Ghostbusters is still like huge to me. It's one of my favorite films. And I was 10 when Ghostbusters 2 came in. I remember going, well, that was horrible. They were really pandering to me and my generation.
Damn.
Why was Slimer in this movie so much? This is more of a cartoon than the cartoon.
Yeah. Ghostbusters has a lot to it. I'm going to say that. There's that if we start talking about Ghostbusters, we're just going to talk about Ghostbusters for like the whole time because
I don't mind. We could hijack the conversation because there is a lot to it, and I don't have a great topic, so we could talk about movies. Basically, Ghostbusters is a movie.
I mean, we're basically doing that. I think we just kind of skipped an intro, and we're just going to talk about movies for a little bit. I'm trying to figure out the time since our interns are useless.
I know,
so
they never do it.
Yeah, no, they're terrible people. No, I think we're good. Yeah, okay. I figured out about like a few more minutes of talking about movies, and then there's something I want to talk about that kind of goes into what we're talking about now.
Yes.
So that was lucky. Not lucky, but coincidental. Coincidentally, this has nothing to do with. I mean, I guess it kind of does. It dabbles in it a bit.
Now you just got us all aroused for this conversation.
I know. I'm sorry.
Stroking us. Just let it happen.
This has nothing to do with my topic, and it doesn't have anything to do with the topic we're talking about. But it does have to do with kids. That the other day I was like, see, I don't even know why I'm going to mention this. It's just like this little throwaway. Antidote or whatever.
Come on, throw it away.
That I was thinking about so Down by the Bay, that song Down by the Bay. Mm-hmm. Well, the kids that I watch, they love that song.
So for the people at home, that don't know this song?
So it goes, Google it, you dumbass. There you go. The kids love it. They love Googling things.
They're really into that, yeah.
So Down by the Bay. There's Down by the Bay. And then there's also a Halloween version. That's pronounced it weird. Anyway, there's a Halloween version, and I was like, hey, I need to play this for this kid. And I kept forgetting. And then she goes, hey, can you play the Halloween version? And I'm like, what the fuck? What? How did you know? I was literally just thinking that.
Psychic.
And yeah, it was. Yeah.
So how does it feel to babysit Damien?
No Damien anymore.
Well, that's
Yeah, no.
You prayed him away. You prayed
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
That's great.
No, but super serial. I'm gonna talk about my topic now. Unless you want to talk more about the movies.
There's one more thing I want to say about Ghostbusters.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I am a big ghost head, and it's not a popular thing among Ghostbusters fans, both male and female. By the way, I've had this argument both times, but a lot of people watch Ghostbusters too when they were a kid. It's like the Star Wars prequels. If you were a kid when they came out, you usually like them. Ghostbusters 2, even Bill Murray thinks it's garbage. He said, we made a good one, we made a bad one. Why make a third one? It's just not good. It doesn't capture the lightning in the bottle that the first one does. But when you're a child and your eyes are open and, they still consider that one of the classics. And so they crap all over the 2016 Ghostbusters, which came out at a really unfortunate time because people were so up in arms politically, just like they are today. And it became the poster child of like feminism stealing male identity or whatever. And it's not a bad movie. Is it a great movie? No. Is it better than Ghostbusters 2? 1,000,000 times better than Ghostbusters 2.
I love it, honestly.
I wish
that just be because I'm a girl, but I thought it was really great. I liked it a lot.
I was concerned because the trailer came out and I hated the trailer. And a lot of comedies nowadays they become improv Olympics and they lose. And the movie's guilty of that in some ways. But big fan of Kate McKinnon, big fan of Melissa McCarthy, big fan of all the whole cast.
Leslie Jones is great.
Love Leslie Jones.
I feel like she could have had a bigger part in it, but yeah.
Well, I think if you're a fan of Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones, because they are kind of the driving force of the comedy in the movie, then you'll like it. And if you don't like them, then you're not going to like it because it's very much their sense of humor. I think Melissa and Kristen don't really perform at their level that they can. And that's kind of a problem. But I remember I didn't know if I wanted to see it. I didn't want to be disappointed. I was very anxious. And I saw the Rotten Tomatoes scores came out and it was certified fresh. So I went to the midnight release. And as soon as they had 2 funny jokes, I felt relaxed. And that was in the first scene.
Yeah.
When he's giving the tour. Thomas, this is the room where Thomas Edison invented elephant abuse.
Stuart.
Yeah. So Ghostbusters 2 has 2 funny jokes. All it had to do was accomplish that. And I relaxed and I was able to enjoy the movie. Is the second act a mess? Yes. Is the third act butchered by bad editing and just they didn't know where they were going with it? Absolutely. The first act is solid. It's 40 minutes of solid movie. So it's
no Suicide Squad.
It's definitely, but Suicide Squad gets a bad rap even compared to the other DCU movies because the other DCU movies don't make sense. Suicide Squad has a plot.
No, I feel that Suicide Squad was they were making a movie and then they're like, oh, but what if we also did this? And they're like, but we've already got a lot of this one. And they're like, it's okay. Just mix them together. No, you guys didn't do it. It
didn't work.
Right? You didn't blend it well enough. You kind of just went.
Yeah, they basically
together.
That was the movie where they were like, well, let's start imitating Marvel and do Guardians of the Galaxy. And they did the same thing with The Hobbit. That was why that trilogy, one of the reasons, it would have still been too long and have way too many useless action scenes that were just going nowhere. And you can't miss Legolas, you can't miss the single friggin' arrow. You're Hawkeye over here all of a sudden. Come on, this is not interesting. You're just killing everything. It's not interesting. This is Rambo.
And my axe.
But they really made Peter Jackson change the movie because they were like, hey, that one dwarf is kind of hot.
Yep. They sure did.
We need a romance.
Oh, that was
so guys would sit in makeup for 12 hours or whatever it took, and then they would just sit on the set and wait until they filmed the first scene because they were fighting with the studios over what they were.
I will say, straight people, you don't have to have a love story in every single movie. Just stop it. Stop.
Straight people?
Yes.
I don't know about that. I don't think.
Yes.
most of our remarkable romantic films are as a result of gay directors that have made some great straight romantic movies over the years. You know what I mean? Howard
If
Ashman put romance
if
in
they
every.
don't put the relationship there for you, people are like, okay, well then I'm just gonna assume that these people are together. And then when the queer community is like, okay, these people are together, people are like, no, how dare you just assume that they're into that and blah blah blah. And you're like, wow,
They have a
okay.
trans character. They're just checking off boxes now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's just
but that's not having a romance. I think it's because of the male gaze. Like I was thinking of this just today, actually. If you have a shirtless man in a movie, it is homoerotic. Why isn't it erotic for women? Or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, how is it automatically homoerotic to have a shirtless man? Because it's all through the male gaze. We don't, and this is something that's definitely shifting now, but traditionally men have been directors and women haven't had that opportunity. And that started to crack in like really the 80s. I mean, we're not looking that long ago before like Catherine Bigelow and those people started coming out. And now it's, I think we've got a much more fair, still not fair, but we're getting to the point now where like Spike Lee isn't the only black director. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like token gestures throughout the 80s, and then the 90s got a little better. And now I think we're at a point where, the douchebag guy directors that are like, she's got the it factor. I want to bang her. So let's put her in a movie. Those guys are kind of getting pushed out of the industry. How many movies do you want to watch that are just freaking like, oh, I slapped her and it brought some sense to her, and then she didn't really want it, but you watch those old movies like Blade Runner, which is great, but that love scene is really horrifying. He really does slap her and basically bully her into admitting that she has feelings for him. And that's just not the way you do it, fellas. And if you watch those romantic movies and then you do these romantic gestures from these movies, a lot of times you'll find out. I did, certainly as a young man. I'm a movie guy, so I did a couple of these romantic gestures, and it was like, dude, you are out of line. You can't just show up at a girl's house with a radio over your head.
Though, I will say this is back in high school. This guy came over with a stack of just burnt, like every Metallica CD just burnt, like to a CD, whatever. He got his collection and just made copies of every single one and brought it to me, to my house. And I was like, cool, I don't have a CD player though. And then he pulls out a CD player and I'm like,
wow. That's pretty dope. Yeah, mixtapes still work.
That was pretty great. I loved it. It was fantastic. I would have said yes if he would have asked me out, but then I don't know what happened. He handed me that, and then he kind of like got really shy around me, and then he just didn't really talk to me, and I'm like,
he thought that gesture was going to be enough. That's the thing too, is that guys, because movies show you that you can earn a woman. Right. And that's another problem. You can't earn, you don't deserve to earn another human being. It's kind of upsetting to think that people do think that. But no, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on guys. So I understand. I get it. But I've blown a lot of first dates by bringing flowers. But you think that's what you have to do? You've been taught that.
You put the flowers.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've just seen girls that are just like, it was going so well until now. It's like, I just showed up. And it's done. So now you're spending dinner and a movie with somebody that does not. They're like, oh, he wants too much from me. It was cool and casual, and now it's. And that puts a lot of pressure on her. So I think it's cool to just keep it cash, guys, but when she comes over, don't just be like, oh, let me finish this level on this. Well, levels aren't a thing anymore in video games, but you know what I mean? It's like, oh, mom, I never got this far in this game. I'll come to dinner in a minute. You don't treat the girl that you're out on a date with or hanging out with or whatever like that. It's, you've got to still make that person important.
Yeah. Wait, what? I got lost there for a second.
Don't try too hard, but don't not try at all.
Right.
Just be cool and casual.
Yeah, just also let queers be queer. It's like fuck off.
Well, that too, and
that's the main thing. No, the main thing is I guess going back to the whole movie thing is that why can't people just Finn and fucking Poe, let it happen, let it be a thing. Fuck, everyone was so open arms about it, but like even the actors were like, yeah, sure, we played it like that. You guys didn't see it?
Well, Lord of the Rings, same deal. And that was probably straight up out of Tolkien's book, And Tolkien was a very conservative Christian, linguist, but he had probably had an experience like that relationship in World War I. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything, but it's definitely in the text. It's there, I think. But a lot of people misinterpreted Tolkien. But it's there for readers that read that. So, just let it be.
Readers be reading.
They be reading. Yeah, no, I think, as much as I love La La Land because it spoke to me, it was like watching my guts exploding on the screen. For a lot of people, that's going to seem really shallow or whatever, but really it spoke to me. I left all choked up. And but I loved Moonlight. I just didn't think it was the best picture because it didn't have the cultural impact. But it did have a cultural impact that was different and very special. And looking back, I feel like Moonlight was a more important film, despite the fact that La La Land had kind of been the bigger movie. And a big part of that was because it was about queer culture with Black men and masculinity. And it was just a really great film that was beautiful. And I wish more people could have seen it, and it could have been a bigger cultural moment for the mainstream audiences. And that's 15 minutes.
I don't know. We kind of we went off topic. I don't want to make this like a 2-hour, episode though. So, but that's fine. Whatever. We ended up talking about other stuff instead. I'm sure it was fun to listen to, I hope. And I guess that I think it's a good wrap up for what's to come for the next episode. So get ready for the next episode.
Yeah, everybody, it's coming to the next episode. And I really wish that I had caught the magic of the third episode. I don't even remember it. That's really sad.
It was I don't know. I feel like it's been years since the last episode.
Oh, but by the next episode, it's going to feel even longer.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that's it's Potato and Sheepdog signing off.
And we don't have a good line for the end, so.
Later days.